So what's the grape export talking about today? So one of my passions is Italian wine. I love and adore Italian wines. But we're going to talk about what we consider to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest area in all of Italy. It's called Barolo. And we broke out our map here, and we're actually going to show you, if you do not know where Barolo is, we call it northern Italy. So we have to go all the way up here to an area called Piedmonte. And this little tiny red area right here is called Barolo. And Barolo is considered historically for Italy the wine of kings. This whole area was run by the Duchy of Piedmonte. So we do say it's the wine of kings, but the grape is Nebbiolo. And Nebbiolo is a very, very interesting grape. There's a dialect that actually they speak in what's called the language of this area. And Nebbiolo, or Nebbia, which means fog or mist, which is the climate where Nebbiolo needs to thrive. You do not find Nebbiolo too much in the world today. It's a very, very difficult grape. It's almost more difficult to grow than Pinot Noir. But you do need that foggy, misty, damp. You need that soil, which is clay. So we're going to highlight a producer here. At one time, I imported this wine. This is Paolo Conterno. And Paolo Conterno is in an area called Ginestra. So had a chance to visit this property and meet with Giorgio Conterno, who's now running this property. His father, Carlo, was there at that time. We're talking over 25 years ago. And, I found this wine because one year I was looking for a really good Barolo producer that I could import, bring back to Florida, where we had our import company, and I saw this young guy, and I saw the name Conterno, and I said, "Oh, Conterno," because I remember Aldo Conterno and Giacomo Conterno. These are considered the icons of Barolo. This is a distant family, a relative. They're cousins, so to speak. But when Giorgio was explaining the property, and I tasted his wines, and I was like, "Oh my God, these wines are really, really good." But guess what? I had to go and I had to visit that property. I also broke out something today. Here, this is a book. It's called Italy's Noble Red Wines. This was written by a couple, Sheldon and Pauline Wasserman, who are unfortunately no longer with us. But they wrote what I consider to be the Bible of Italian great wines. And when they talk about the noble wines of Italy, you have a comprehensive dive into Barolo, and they talk about all the vineyards, and they talk about the grapes and the soil compositions there. This book's available on Amazon, and if you have a friend who that loves Italian wines, and you're looking for some type of a gift, for the holidays to give your friend, and you think to yourself, hey, I'd like to give my friend something because he loves Italian wines and he's passionate. This is the best book that I have ever had in my property, because that is it's encyclopedic. It just goes on and on and on about vintages and all these great wines. And Paolo Conterno had a chance to visit this property. They took us out, Carlo and son Giorgio took us out to this property, and the soil was like a gray clay, and you could actually, the clay was chunky, so you could take the soil and you could actually physically break it right on your thigh like that, and then rub the soil in your hands, and then you could smell that clay. And then when you taste those wines were the duplicate of that clay and that beautiful quality. So when you have Nebbiolo, which is considered the king of grapes in Italy, and then you put it in that type of soil in that area, which is Monforte, which is probably the best area for all of Barolo to be. And then these wines are very special. You have to age these wines, and they're usually aged in Slavonian oak. A lot of these guys, they don't use barrique here. So when you go to the vineyards, they have these big oval oaks. So, but anyway, I wanted to highlight this because I used to import this wine. These are fabulous wine. Again, this is the Grape Explorer, talking about great wine, talking about great Italian wine, and talking about beautiful wine from Italy.